You're sitting at your desk, staring at your bank account, and that sick feeling hits your stomach. Overdraft fee. Again, $35 because you were $12 short when your subscription renewed 2 days before payday. You do the mental math and realize you just paid nearly 30 times the original cost because your account was empty at the wrong moment. Meanwhile, your coworker who makes the same salary never pays these fees. She is not smarter or more disciplined. She just had enough cushion in her account that this never happens. And that is when it hits you. Being broke is expensive. I'm Jason, and I've spent years obsessing over personal finance, diving deep into why some people seem to escape the paycheck to we paycheck trap while others stay stuck despite working just as hard. I share practical strategies that actually work for real people dealing with real financial pressure. If you're tired of feeling like the system is rigged against you, you're going to want to stick around for what I'm about to share. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button because this information could literally save you thousands of dollars. Let me introduce you to a concept I call the broke tax. It is not an official government tax. Nobody votes on it, but it is brutally real. And if you're living close to the edge financially, you're paying it every single day. The broke tax is the extra money you pay for goods and services simply because you don't have enough money up front. It is the premium charged to people who can least afford it. Think about it like this. Imagine two people buying the exact same car. Person A has good credit and money for a down payment. Person B has poor credit and no savings. Person A gets a 5% interest rate. Person B gets stuck with 18%. Over 5 years, Person B pays thousands more for the identical vehicle. That is the broke tax in action. This isn't some conspiracy theory. The math is cold and simple. Banks know that people with low balances are more likely to overdraft, so they charge fees that can reach $35 per transaction. If you overdraft 3 times in a month, that is over $100 gone, not for any product or service, but purely as a penalty for not having enough money. Credit card companies do the same thing. If you can pay your balance in full every month, you pay 0 interest. But if you're carrying a balance because money is tight, you're paying 18 to 20. 5% interest, sometimes more. A $2,000 balance at 22%. Interest costs you over $400 a year if you're only making minimum payments. Someone with more money in their account pays nothing for the same purchasing power. Let's talk about housing because this is where the broke tax hits hardest. Imagine 2 people, both spending $1,500 a month on housing. Person A has enough saved for a down payment and buys a modest home with a mortgage payment of $1,500. Person B doesn't have savings for a down payment and rents for $1,500. Fast forward 10 years. Person A has paid down a chunk of their mortgage and built up maybe $60,000 in equity, plus their home has likely appreciated in value. Person B has paid the same amount, $180,000 total, and has 0 equity to show for it. Both worked equally hard. Both paid the same monthly amount, but Person A, who had money up front, built wealth. Person B, who didn't build nothing. That is an extra $60,000 or more that Person B effectively paid because they started without enough savings. The broke tax strikes again. Here is another example that plays out in grocery stores across the country every single day. Buying in bulk saves massive amounts of money, but only if you can afford the upfront cost. A 12-pack of paper towels at the warehouse store costs $18, coming out to $1.50 per roll. But if you're broke and can only afford to buy 2 rolls at the corner store, you're paying $2 per roll. You need the same paper towels. You use them at the same rate, but you pay 33% more over time, simply because you couldn't afford the bigger package up front. Scale this across every household item you buy, every week, for years. And you're talking about thousands of dollars extra spent on the exact same products. Transportation costs reveal the same pattern. Someone with cash or good credit can buy a reliable used car for $8,000, spending maybe $150 a month on a car payment with low interest, plus insurance and maintenance. Someone without that option might pay $400 a month for a used car from a buy here. pay here lot at 25% interest, and because the car is lower quality, they're spending another $100 a month on repairs. That is $350 more every single month for worse transportation. Over 3 years, that is an extra $12,600. Same basic need, wildly different cost. The broke tax doesn't care about fairness. Even something as simple as banking costs more when you're broke. Wealthy people get free checking, no minimum balance requirements, and they earn interest on their savings. People living paycheck to paycheck often can't maintain the minimum balance, so they pay monthly maintenance fees of $10 to $15. They can't access high-yield savings accounts that require minimum deposits. They might rely on check cashing services that take 3 to 5% of every paycheck. Someone making $30,000 a year who uses check cashing services is paying $900 to $1,500 annually just to access their own money. Someone with a regular bank account pays zero. That is $1,500 a year every year, extracted purely because you don't have enough buffer in your finances. Now I know what some of you are thinking. If the system is designed this way, what can I possibly do about it? I don't have thousands of dollars lying around to suddenly stop paying the broke tax, and you're right to feel frustrated. But here is the truth. You don't need thousands of dollars to start breaking this cycle. You need a clear understanding of where the broke tax is hitting you hardest and a strategic plan to eliminate those costs one by one. Another objection I hear constantly is that unexpected expenses always derail any progress. You start building a small cushion, then the car breaks down, or a medical bill arrives, and you're back to zero. I get it. Life happens zero, but that is actually exactly why building even a tiny emergency buffer is so critical. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is reducing the frequency and severity of those expensive emergencies. Even a $300 cushion can be the difference between paying a $12 expense normally and paying a $47 expense after overdraft fees and late charges stack up. Some people worry that focusing on saving small amounts is pointless when they have larger debts. Why save $50 when you owe $5,000 on a credit card? Because that $50 buffer might prevent a $35 overdraft fee next month. It might let you buy the bulk package instead of the expensive small one. Those small preventions compound. You're not ignoring the debt. You're stopping the bleeding so you can actually make progress on it instead of constantly sliding backward. So what do you actually do? Let's get specific. First, audit where you're paying the broke tax right now. Go through 3 months of bank statements and highlight every fee, every interest charge, every premium you pay because you didn't have cash up front. Add it up. That number is your broke tax bill. For most people, it is shocking. You might find you're paying $300, $500, even $1,000 a year in completely avoidable costs. That is your target. That is the money you're going to reclaim. Second, prioritize building a tiny buffer in your checking account. I'm not talking about a 6-month emergency fund right now. That comes later. I'm talking about $100 to $300 that just sits there as a cushion so you never overdraft again. This is your highest return investment possible. If you typically overdraft twice a month at $35 each, that is $70 monthly, $840 yearly. A $300 buffer that prevents this is giving you a 280% annual return. No stock market investment can touch that. Third, systematically replace expensive options with cheaper ones. As you're able, can't afford the bulk package yet. Fine, but make it a goal for next month. When you get there, calculate exactly how much you're saving per month and redirect that savings into your buffer fund. It becomes a self-reinforcing cycle. The small buffer lets you make slightly cheaper choices. Those cheaper choices free up more money. That money grows the buffer. The buffer enables even better financial decisions. Fourth, ruthlessly eliminate subscription services and automatic payments you're not actively using. This isn't about deprivation, it is about control. Every automatic payment is a potential overdraft waiting to happen when money is tight. Go manual on everything for 3 months. Pay each bill consciously. You'll often find you're paying for things you forgot about or don't value enough to manually pay for. That is free money back in your pocket. Fifth, if you're paying check, cashing fees or high banking fees, switching to a no-fee online bank or credit union can save you $1,000 or more per year. Yes, it takes an afternoon to set up. Yes, it feels like a hassle when you're already stressed. But you're trading 3 hours of effort for $1,000. That is over $300 an hour for your time. You don't have a job that pays that well, so make this your highest paid work of the year. Look, I'm not going to pretend this is easy or that it happens overnight. The broke tax is real, it is substantial, and it is designed into the system. But here's what I've learned after years of studying this. The people who escape aren't necessarily the ones who make the most money. They're the ones who recognize the pattern, refuse to accept it as permanent, and chip away at it consistently. That $300 buffer seems impossible until you have it. Then it seems obvious. That bulk buying savings seems out of reach until you do it once. Then it becomes routine. Every dollar you reclaim from the broke tax is a dollar that can work for you instead of against you. It is a dollar that can become your emergency fund, your down payment savings, your escape plan from the cycle. The math of being broke keeps you trapped, but the math of building a buffer, even a small one, creates momentum in the opposite direction. You start paying what things actually cost instead of paying the poverty premium. So here is my challenge to you. Don't just watch this and move on. Take one action today. Pull up your bank statements and calculate your personal broke tax from the last 3 months. See the real number. Let it make you angry. Then channel that anger into action. Pick one source of the broke tax and commit to eliminating it in the next 30 days. Just one. Maybe it is the overdraft fees. Maybe it is the check cashing charges. Maybe it is switching one expensive small purchase to a bulk option. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe, because I'm going to keep breaking down the real math behind personal finance. The stuff that actually matters for people dealing with real financial pressure. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Someone stuck in the same cycle who thinks it is their fault, or that there is no way out. There is a way. It starts with seeing the game for what it is and refusing to keep playing by rules designed to keep you broke. You've got this. Now go reclaim your money.